I don't believe the individual said, well, some people are born with it, Bobby, and some people are not. I don't buy that because I was an introvert. I didn't speak until I was 7 years old. I was very, very shy. And I was able to not only build the $1 billion business.
If there's ever a success story that's out there, this is one.
Bobby Castro is the ultimate rags to riches story. With only a 9th grade education, Bobby founded Bankers Healthcare Group and turned a $25,000 investment into
upwards of $1 billion.
He started with a little, grew it to a lot.
He's a recipient of the Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year Award.
Having achieved financial freedom on his own terms, he wants to teach others how to achieve unprecedented results.
In 2019, this business did over $180 million of net income. And as you know, net income is not the gross, it's not the expenses, which is in the middle, it's what's left over. After paying me, call it $10, $20 million a year, paying beautiful people, 500 employees, reserve it, all the ugly that comes with the business, all the expenses, we still had $180 million left over to pay taxes. Now that's what you call scale. That's a business. How did you do it, Bobby? I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to show you how you can move the needle next month. All of you are lost. All of you may have family members like I did, because we tend to hire family members. We tend to be desperate. We hire all these people, and we realize they don't have the skill set. So I want you to really think for a moment right now. Treat your business, because your efforts, your non-refundable minutes, you're building a business that's worth something. So imagine you struggling and fighting, creating and growing, and at the end of the day, your business is worth nothing. That's not a business, would you agree? So you gotta start treating your business as a business. What you're doing is that you are force appreciating the valuation of your company. How? You need revenue. You need controlled expense, not uncontrollable expenses, and you need net income. What do you mean, Bobby? Well, Bobby did, in the beginning, a very bad mistake. Whatever came in, I paid my necessary business expenses, and then I pocketed everything. We all do that as a small business owner. We don't think about the power of net income, and you're ignoring it because you're not building nothing that one day you can be like I and sell your business. My business is no different. I was in the financial business, healthcare financial business. No different if you're in the mortgage business, you're a money broker, you're a realtor, whatever business, this applies. So what happened, how did I go from 50 million to $5 billion? Data. Write it down, guys, data. You guys are so lucky because you live in a world right now that if you really pay attention to data and analytics, because a lot of salespeople, they want to BS themselves and try the fast way, trick the customer, do all this, a lot of energy by just fluffing it up, and you're not building or creating nothing. So analytics, data will bring that customer to you that needs your product. There's no trick. Pain points. A pain point is when a customer needs your product or service. They don't care about the price. So when you hear a lot of entrepreneurs say, including me, it's not about the price, they're absolutely certain, I am certain that it's not the price. You're just talking to a customer that cannot afford your product or service, but more so, they don't need it. If they don't need it, it is a fight, it's a struggle. You could be wasting your non-refundable minutes. And we all do that. Right now, all your ratios and conversions, if you do have a sales staff or in yourself, you're keeping track of all your KPIs, and you're measuring this KPI based on the closing ratio. But you really are wasting your time and your staff time. You can't measure KPIs on unqualified leads. The most important thing in sales are qualified leads, qualified prospects that you're talking to. Now just imagine, you're not a good salesperson. I wasn't a good salesperson. I became a good salesperson, how? When I was talking to customers that desperately needed my product. The confidence goes up, you are sold on your product or service, you have to have a solution. And now it's not about price, and that was the most expensive. Out of all our competitors, we're the most expensive, but we're the most picky with the customer. We have the toughest underwriting guidelines in the industry, But our rates are over 14% when our competitors' rates are 4%. And we crush them. How do we do that? There's no secret. I'm not telling you anything to threaten my business. Don't be one of these individuals that, oh my God, I don't want to share so much because I'm going to have too much competition. If that is your concern or worry, guys, you're in the wrong industry. That means you don't have scale. When you have scale, you have to be open-minded. Don't worry about all your salespeople maybe stealing your sauce or whatever. Be focused on creating value. So what I did was I hired a lot of people, started with one person. And when one person had a question, an awesome question for Brad, you know, and I'll get back to that one question. I want to top, I'm hoping that individual can come back up about the referrals. Data. You're going to track this data that the customer needs your product. So you can have right now your sales staff is a horrible sales staff. You're a horrible closer. You're a horrible salesperson. Just imagine. But guess what? Overnight, you could be a high performer. Yeah, Bobby, you manipulated it because you brought customers that needed your product. Yes. Where would you want to invest your non-refundable minutes? You want to spend at least 25% on your marketing budget. Don't ignore it. And I'm maybe being light on it. We went as high as 40%. And that includes staff, by the way. So data and analytics, if you don't pay attention to it, you don't have a fighting chance to build a business. You can skate by, you can blow up all the leads, you can have all your staff waste all their energy by not closing or selling customers because these customers don't want your product. They don't need your product, and more so, they can't even afford your product or service. Why are you speaking to them? So data is everything. Spend minimum of 25%, and that's how I sold that business for $1 billion. How was I able to do more volume than my competitors, be more picky on my underwriting, and charge more? It's not because we had great salespeople. We'll get a little bit into that, how you train them and make sure you really lined up your skill sets correctly and your whole culture's aligned. I had the data. It was an edge. Pay attention. 2020, you're so lucky because I was so unlucky. I didn't have it. It wasn't the resource was not just there. I didn't have the internet. I had to figure this out throughout the years, but only when I brought and I leveraged better talent than me that knew something that I didn't know, because I kept burning all my non-refundable minutes. I was making $250,000 a year. I probably got to $500,000 a year, and maybe, guys, I got to $1 million personal income. That's a win, right? I was so happy, but man, I was actually not at $1 million. I was making $200,000 because I was burning so much energy, putting so much pressure on my sales staff. You can't close for nothing, and we're just working harder instead of smarter. I sold that business for $1 billion, just basically, man, the secret, guys, was data. That's how I did it. You can be the worst salesperson, and I can double your closing ratio by just giving you a customer that needs your product and service now. Not tomorrow, but now. But then again, that's where the KPIs come in. Now you have to really look for the skill set. So now you're in a different type of lead, a qualified lead versus an unqualified lead. There's two ways to measure that. Unqualified lead, it's a total mess. No one knows where really the benchmark is. Qualified leads, now you have to be in sales. You have to what? Listen to a customer. If you don't listen to a customer that needs your product or service, this customer prospect will walk right down the aisle and close the sale themselves. How would you like to work on a lead like that? Imagine your income can actually double tomorrow if you're able to expose to data and analytics. So Monday, guys, go back, make sure you pay attention